Howdy, hi. This is an introduction. This is kind of down the road in the game, but I want to tell you what the series. This is a new series for me for Don't Starve, and I've tried to do this before and it hasn't worked out because they kept changing things so fast. This is a new series. It's survival, which is Sandbox. It's on day 28, but I will show the world, Willow's world, from day one. It is a 100% default world. It's regular summer, regular winter, regular deer clops, regular everything. Everything's just straight down the line. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I was up doing stuff. Now this is Willow's world. We're on day 28 of winter. All these backpacks are full of live bunnies. We've got drying racks. My sanity's at 194. I've got the puffy vest, the beefalo hat, the, gosh, whatever the hell else I'm supposed to have, winter hat, 4 crock pots. I don't have any grass farms yet, and I don't have any regular farms yet. I've got berries there and berries there. I haven't explored very much. I've explored this much so far. There's, that goes to another chunk of savanna, unfortunately. The other thing I'm kind of jacked on is I don't have a good source of silk. I killed a queen and put a egg here, planted it for silk harvesting next to my camp, and I don't have forest near me. Now there's a sinkhole some damn where. Where are you, sinkhole? There's a sinkhole there. That's the only one I found. And I found the ring over here somewhere. But I don't really care about the machine parts anyway. But anyway, I've been asked how to do a world from the start. I get all kinds of comments from people that die on, before day 20 or after day 20. Now, I'm not sure how long I'm going to want to play in this because I don't like regular summer because it doesn't give me time for projects. The main reason I make videos is for entertainment. I make them because they're funny and I set up situations. And with the constant 20 days of summer, 20 days of winter, it just so much time goes into winter prep or into what to me is kind of downtime mostly in winter. It's not downtime, but I don't know, anyway, I think you get my point. If you watch this and you watch any of my, either Maxwell or Wilson, I think you'll understand the difference. But I'm going to try mostly to avoid speed ups and, yeah, and explain everything as I go. Now, this is not a walkthrough. It's not a how-to in the sense of this is the best way or anything like that. You're more than welcome to do everything in the way you want to. I know I've seen things that, and I'll mention them as I go along, that aren't the way I do them, and hell, I don't know if they're better, do them. It doesn't matter to me how you play your game. It really doesn't. But this is how I set up a world, and this is how I go about it. And I'm not saying it's the best way or anything else, but it has been requested by several people. I probably won't play past the second winter. I may not even play to the second winter. This winter has been just too damned easy. It's, I don't know. It's just, but I hope, I hope it shows you what it certainly shows you what I would do in a world. And if that's a help to people, well, that was the purpose of the video series. So anyway, but anyway, this starts on day 1, and you'll find out how I get here. And I do not intend to end here. I intend at least to go through this winter. And my original intention was to play through 2 winters. And beyond that, like I said, I don't find the regular summer to be very entertaining for what I do with videos. And I don't know, it seems to me if you last 40 days, you ought to pretty much have a pretty damn good idea about how to continue to last. So now I'm going to play Willow because I like Willow. And when I say I like a character, that doesn't mean I think they're strong or have great characteristics or anything else. I just like Willow. I would do Windy, but there's things you can do with Windy and Abigail that are kind of overpowered, because a beginner to the point of this is for beginners, and a beginner of the game wouldn't have access to the power she has. Same thing's true of WX and Wolfgang and Wickerbottom. I thought you couldn't play Wes unless you had him open him. You're kidding. I thought you had to discover him at adventure to be able to use him. Oh well, back to the drugs. But anyway, it's easier to keep track of worlds when you have Maxwell's world, Wilson's world, and Willow's world. So now they're going to rebalance her, and there's reasons why I may not play. I was thinking I might play through 2 winners. I think if you've played through 2 winners, you ought to know how to play the game. And if you're dying, it's because you're taking too many chances or something. Or you're being inattentive, careless, whatever. But I think if you've made it through 2 winners, you should have the game well in hand as far as how to. Customize the world, we're not going to do anything. Now this is not it's a how-to in the sense this is how I play the game. I'm not saying it's the best way. I'm not going to argue with people in comments about what they think are better ways. If you want to put up a better way, feel free to put it up with you. But I'm not going to debate the merits of it. I noticed right now what's in vogue is to not make an axe as your first tool, but to make a pick instead. And I really don't see the difference. Now usually I make videos to be entertaining, and this is just to show how I would start the game. It has no other purpose, and hopefully it won't be dull, but its purpose isn't specifically to be entertaining. Alright, we've got 2 green areas to choose from. You ought to pick 12 flowers as soon as possible without doing yourself any damage. Pick all the food you come across until I'm assuming this is your first game ever. Pick all the food you come across until you know what food to leave behind. And I do know that, so there will be food that I'll probably be leaving behind. As you open other characters later on, that kind of varies. Especially after this coming update, that's going to vary. Because Wolfgang's going to get certain buffs from being full. And I believe Wendy burns more food than any of the other characters. Alright, see, now this is kind of what I mean about it doesn't really make a lot of difference whether you make a pick or an axe, unless you're really short on flint. And it's possible to have that little area you spawn in be in a swamp or something stupid like that. Now you don't have access to squat at this point like shovels or backpacks or anything else unless this is changed. And I'm not the encyclopedia of all this that I used to be, because there have been so many changes in the game. I know a lot about the game, but trying to keep track of every detail gets harder and harder. Now what you want to do is not lose too much sanity early on before you can do very much about it. That's what picking the 12 flowers is about. Like I said, grab all the food you can. Now I always organize and there's that whole build a pick first and don't build the axe first theory. Also says don't bother to chop wood, and it's like until it's almost nighttime, and it's like, yeah, okay, because that's crucial too. So anyway, however, everybody's got an opinion. So like I said, this is not specifically a walkthrough or anything else. This is how I start games. And given the different characters, I would start differently, and also given just the randomness of the game. If I were in a swamp, I'd be looking for a way out of the swamp. Now I always organize all my inventory stuff the same way, and that way at a glance I can tell if I have critical things. What's critical to me is grass, flint, twigs, and wood. Because with that you can make tools and you can make light or fires. Now also early on we're going to have winter in 20 days, so we need to find a place where we can make a base camp as soon as possible, and we need what do I want to say? We need gold for our science machines. The first one takes 1 gold. The second one takes 6, I believe. So you need 7 pieces of gold altogether. Although 8's kind of a better bet, because with 8 you can go ahead and make 1 throwaway science machine and like open backpack and rope and armor and a spear. Because you want that spear before you do any fighting if at all possible. Spears do a lot more damage than tools do. Normally I wouldn't bother to pick up seeds, but since food's at a premium early on in the game, it's worthwhile. I wouldn't collect anything past 1 full stack except maybe grass, because inventory space is a premium early on. Also, I have not started a game in a while, so this is going to be far from perfect. Like picking flowers obviously is not something I normally do. Now the first night you can do a couple of different things. Continuing to explore and map out where you are is a good idea, but you're going to take a sanity hit from doing it because you're going to be in the dark. Now one idea on blowing off the wood till later is I probably could have explored more and maybe got that garland finished. So like I said, all this is a sandbox game until you hit adventure. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. It's kind of hard to say this is the right way or this is it's certainly impossible to say this is the only way. You know, in my main games I'm trying to find as many different ways to do things as possible, because to me that's what makes it entertaining. Alright, now we should have our flower garland, and I hope it was still 12. Yep. Alright, now that helps your sanity, which you won't see much from at night, or in the daytime rather, but it will at night. Now normally I wouldn't go back for that grass, but we seem to be running out of our grassy area. Now dark areas like that are theoretically forest. The problem with forest is you can run into spiders. And there's another issue entirely. Spiders. The default plus game sounds like a good bet, because you start out with a certain amount of wood and this and that and the other. And there's a problem with that, and it's that you also start out with a crap load of spiders. Now that's an exploit, because what she was doing there was chopping with her torch instead of the axe, so you could chop and get your light at the same time. Now what we want is rocks with gold veins in them, so that we can look at least that first science machine. Now I think we might be in a plaid area here, and that's not in Wiki or anything, that's just what I call it, where it's a mixture of a bunch of different kinds of terrain, grass and forest and grassland, yeah. Well, not exactly. This is kind of a little, I don't know what the hell that area was. But see, at night you can't see a damn thing. Now if you run out of light, you will die. A very large monster will come and eat your face. It's either called the Night Monster or Charlie. It's Maxwell's old girlfriend if you want to get technical. Alright, more forest isn't really going to help us. And that's swamp, which is dangerous. It's easy to get killed early on in the swamp. A pig head on a stick, if we had a hammer, that would be worthwhile. I think we'll do better back the way we came in. What we want is savanna for beefalo fur to make a beefalo hat for the winter. And failing that, at least 2 whole rabbits in a stick to make a... Oops, that's a touchstone. Now, a touchstone will resurrect you if you die, which in the winter isn't going to do you just a whole hell of a lot of good. Because you'll probably just die again. However, if you have at least a torch, you might survive. I'm gonna leave an axe here too. Normally I don't bother with that much, but you know, what the hell. What we need is a stone area to get the gold. And it's kind of a toss-up at a certain point on grabbing this stuff because it slows you down. So we need savanna for rabbit hutches or rabbit holes or for beefalo by preference. Alright, there's another stone which isn't gonna